Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm doing a video today. This is sort of like the second part of a prior video that I did regarding no hesitation training. Um, no hesitation training is more of a concept. It's a concept that if you feel that you're in a dangerous situation, basically you have to immediately act before you give yourself a chance to really figure out all the facts and figure out what's going on. Um, and this is often accompanied by an idea that says that if you see the gun, you're already dead. Okay, and by that, when we say when you see the gun, what that means is if you see the bad guy's gun, okay, by the time you see the gun, he's already in the process of shooting you, and you're not going to have time to react. Okay, and I wanted to address that. It's my opinion. And it's what I teach in all of my my self-defense classes. Okay, if you take on the responsibility of carrying a gun, whether you do it as a police officer or as a private citizen, okay, you have to you have to accept that it's better that I take a bullet myself rather than I risk injuring or killing an innocent person. Okay. I'd rather take the chance that the bad guy might win the day, okay, and harm me or harm somebody else, rather than I make the mistake of accidentally killing an innocent person. Okay? And the reason for that is because if the bad guy does it, then that's on him. He's the person that took action, and then it's just a case that I was not able to to stop him. Okay. Now, if I act too quickly, okay, and I accidentally injure an innocent person, that's on me. Okay. So between the two, I'd rather take the chance of getting hurt rather than hurting an innocent person. And I think that this is the proper attitude to have in self-defense type of situations. Okay. And that's what I really wanted to bring forth in this video. The other thing I wanted to mention that I don't think I mentioned clearly in my prior video. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. Just search no hesitation training is bad police training. The thing that I wanted to mention now is that the things that I called out in that video don't apply to all police officers everywhere. Okay, if I were to take a rough guess, given what I've seen over the last 10, 15 years at different ranges, I would say that maybe about 20%. It probably applies to about 20% of police officers who have bad muzzle and finger discipline, and and who might take or who might take that attitude of do something now rather than take that extra second to to observe what's going on. Now, in taking that extra second, sometimes we have the option of moving behind cover, so you can use something like that to buy you time to figure out exactly what's going on. But that's my feeling on this, and I didn't want to come across. I looked at the my other video, and I realized that I may have come across as saying that this is something that applies to 100% everybody across the board, and that's not the case. But I do believe that it applies to about 20%, and 20% is a lot. Okay, the problem that I'm seeing is that when we do have a situation where police shoot an unarmed person, or even worse, an innocent unarmed person, because you might have a bad guy that's unarmed, right? You might have somebody that's a thief, or who's doing something like vandalism. So this is a bad guy that gets shot, and he probably doesn't deserve to get shot unless he's doing something, unless he's actually trying to hurt somebody. Okay, but worse than that, we have situations where you have innocent people who aren't doing anything who are also getting shot, and the case in point is that situation that we had down in Texas, where an off-duty police officer entered her neighbor's apartment, saw him sitting on the couch eating ice cream, and just immediately shot him. Instead of taking that split second to look, observe, and see Okay, fine. She believed that this person didn't belong there, but take that extra second. Say, is this person a deadly threat to me? You know, does is deadly force required in this situation? Okay, so that's a clear situation where she immediately reacted. She basically used no hesitation, tactics. Okay, or she fell back into that no hesitation mindset. Immediately reacted. Now, I also believe that it might have also been a situation where she drew, and she had her finger on the trigger. So there I believe there's a good chance there might have also been just bad training there, where she had not done repetitive drills of drawing out of the holster with her finger off the trigger, coming to full presentation with the finger off the trigger. So I think that she may have drawn her gun with the intention of, holding him, but because she had her finger on the trigger, she twitched. She involuntarily squeezed that trigger. So I think that might have also played the role in this. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is something that needs to be circulated. The general public, the way the public has been viewing this is they keep saying racism. They think that police are intentionally, killing people for racial reasons, and that's absolutely not the case. Okay, it's not a racism problem; it's a bad training problem. Until it's diagnosed correctly, okay, it can't be fixed. Okay, so right now we have a situation where, the a large group of the public is saying racism, and police departments are spending a lot of time saying no, it's not racism. So you got one side calling racism, the other side saying no, but while the police are busy defending themselves against racism, they're not addressing the actual problem. So in a way, they're actually being distracted by these calls of racism. If they would stop and internally look at the situation and say, yeah, this is a training problem in both skill-wise, right? In that they don't get enough range time, they don't practice doing holster draws where fingers off the trigger when they come to presentation. So it's a skill problem that's not trained enough, and it's also an attitude problem to the extent that you can't just assume that that you can't just assume that the other person is going to present deadly force or may present deadly force. You really have to observe the situation and see what's going on. And again, this falls back to that attitude that if you see the gun, you're already dead. Okay, so. I'm putting this out there because I want this fixed. Okay, this is the problem. It needs to be fixed. It is fixable. Okay, it's pretty easily fixable through training, but it has to be diagnosed correctly in the first place in order for you guys to fix it. Okay? So if you guys like this video, please share it, give it a thumbs up, and I hope we are able to fix this problem because it is a terrible tragedy. See you guys next time.